My name is David Toh and I'm the CEO of NTUitive, the Technology and Licensing Commercialization Office of NTU. My role is to run this entity to help our faculty members to commercialize their intellectual property. The healthcare industry is very exciting, I would say, because if you look at the medical diagnostic space, we're coming out with new sensor technologies that enable, people to measure a lot more of the health of their own bodies. With sensors and tracking devices and all that stuff, you're now able to monitor that on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute. So you're able to extrapolate trends in a much more granular level compared to that once-in-a-year health checkup where, the results of the test just tell you pass-fail, right? So if you're able to track that at a more granular level, you're going to be able to do more things to preempt problems that potentially could be bad for your body. Typically at the university, most of the inventions coming out are very early stage. So you're dealing more with the scientific nature of the invention. As a scientist, you're concerned with how do you synthesize that new material? How do you discover new drugs? But as an engineer, you then ask yourself, well, okay, as you've synthesized a new material, how do I put that into production at scale? And that's our role, whether it's in physical or biological sciences, to figure out how do we commercialize this in a way that the market's going to accept. The funding ecosystem for pre-company formation, I would say, is plentiful in Singapore. So the government, in the Research, Innovation and Enterprise Grant R&D budget, has allocated about Singapore dollars 25 billion from the period of 2021 to 2025. So that works out to an annualized budget of about 5 billion Sing per annum. And most of that money is dispersed to NTU, NUS, A-Star and any of the research institute. That's the basic science R&D. When a faculty member or researcher is about to commercialize it or needs money to commercialize it, then NTUitive has a gap fund that we administer, also from the National Research Foundation. And we give researchers on a competitive basis, $250,000 over a period of 12 to 18 months to be able to iterate their technology closer to a market value proposition, product market fit. And once that's done, we at NTUitive also have a small little, shall we say, investment fund. We give out about $500,000 structured as a convertible bond into a preferred funding round. That's a convertible bond that's given to a startup company. Within the broader ecosystem, we do have other types of funds administered by Enterprise Singapore, ranging anywhere from $250,000 up to $500,000 for startups to apply. When you start a business, there are going to be many things that you don't know. So you need to surround yourself with people who understand the subject matter to give you advice, to fill the gaps where you don't have any knowledge of. Because what you're trying to do is short-circuit the trust gap that you have with the market, right? So if you're able to get an independent board or key opinion leaders on the scientific advisory committee or board that you have, you're short-circuiting that trust gap because somebody has willingly lent his expert advice, his reputation to the company and associated himself with the company. If you have enough of these so-called advisors and board members in place, then you're really amplifying your message across to the market. You're closing that trust gap between the market and your customers and yourself. So in a way, you're building bridges.